So it's about 3 in the morning here in San Diego. I was about to go to bed, and I guess obviously people are waking up in Europe, and the tweet I put out earlier today started being retweeted and commented on. It was about a hypothetical of if you could go into, in a video game, of course, if you could go into a nightclub and it was a minority focused nightclub, Jewish, Muslim, Black, Asian, LGBT, and in the game, if you shot up the minorities and killed the minorities in the nightclub, you got a platinum trophy. Would you do it, yes or no? Now, at the moment, for what it's worth, which is a little, I mean, a lot of people had, I'm not going to get into their reasons, but right now at the moment, the answer or the percentage sits at, let's see, 53% would, 46% would not. Put me squarely in the 46% category. The whole reason I brought this up, just briefly, and I tweeted this, was we were going to talk about it, which we did on the show today, because I have found the older I've gotten, the more I can't be cruel to NPCs in video games. When I was a kid, I was like everybody else. I would go in Grand Theft Auto and just let your fucking lizard brain murderous rage, play out in a safe venue. But the older I've gotten, for a variety of reasons, some of them are about getting older, some of them are probably having kids, and some of them are probably believing we're living in a simulation. But who knows why, who cares why? It's not the point. The older I've gotten, the more I can't be cruel to NPCs. And I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to discuss it with other people. I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077 with the new patch, which I love, and I found it the same. I'm like, I can't, I'd love to come in here and just be some crazy, Ghost in the Shell fucking nightmare, but I'm like, I can't do it. I treat everybody fucking nice in that game if they give me the opportunity. Otherwise, I shoot them in the head. But I wanted to take the most extreme case I could think of and go, look, this shit happens in real life. This is stuff, to me, why it even entered my head was I went into the nightclub. I think it's not Afterlife. It's like the one, maybe the Moxes, if they're called, and it's very, ravey and all this shit. And I was like, there was a part of me that's like, I could shoot the nightclub up, but I'm like, oh yeah, I can't use my weapons. I didn't want to do it, but I was like, there was a part of me that was like, I can be this big evil guy. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And I started thinking of the tragedy of the Pulse nightclub that happened, 5-6 years ago, which was the gay club in Florida, where this guy goes in and shoots up the place. And it was heartbreaking. I have a gay brother. I have a trans son. I have gay and trans friends. It was heartbreaking then, and it's heartbreaking now. But so I posed the question at the most extreme you could take it, because I wanted to find out from people who watch the show. It was tweeted on I didn't buy a billboard and put it up on Sunset Boulevard. It was my tweet that people follow me. And I wanted to find out, when you had such an extreme case, but it was a case that you had seen in the real world, right? Like you could have just as easily asked the question about doing it in high school. And I have high school kids, right? I was raised Jewish. Trust me and my brood would be, shot up if the answer was yes, if we were NPCs, okay? I'm not advocating this, for the love of fucking God. But I wanted something that extreme to see how disconnected or connected people were to the fiction versus the pure mechanic. So if most people who said yes, it's like, well, they're like, it's just a game. So to them, they see these characters in the club. They might happen to be, somebody's like, what? Show me a Muslim nightclub. It's a good point. But okay, let's take a LGBT nightclub. Well, they might happen to clearly all be, not clearly, but going in, they're all gay. Just because you have the little things above their head, maybe it tells you they're affiliated. I don't fucking know. But you know that, right? And I was like, because this is happening in the real world, would you do it? To the people who said yes, they didn't see them as NPC characters and all this stuff. They saw them as pieces on a game board that if I eliminate these pieces, I get my reward, which is my trophy. Whereas I can't do that. And that was what the conversation was about. Now, whether or not you think the way the question was posed was tasteful or tasteless or inappropriate, that's a different conversation. But to act like the conversation itself shouldn't be had, or it's not an interesting conversation. I mean, I designed games professionally for over 20 years. I've played games. I'm 50 years old now. I've played games for 45 years, video games. The idea that I need to sit down and shut up because I'm posing a question that's dumb. Yeah, sorry, no. It's the psychology behind how video games and interactivity affect us, especially compared to linear media, is interesting to me. It's fascinating to me, and it's an important question if you love games, make games, talk about games. So I'm going to bed, and I see a bunch of tweets starting to hit. I got 20 of them. I got more than 20 right now. I haven't even clicked on them. It's people in London waking up and seeing this, and it's just... I had one nice conversation with this one lady journalist, and I don't know if we're not pals or anything, but at least we kind of, found a middle ground. But there was this one guy who kind of kicked it all off. These are all journalists. These are all reporters. These are all people that I would assume are in the search of truth and discourse and conversation. And if nothing else, I would assume that they have been trained well enough in journalism to go, a lot of times what you see isn't what it is. And before I publicly tweet out this guy's tweet, meaning mine, with criticism and mocking of this guy, maybe I should, I'm a pretty easily accessible fella. Maybe I should, reach out and go, hey, I'm a journalist for, I think it was PC Gamer, which I love. Or who was this? The guy who kicked it off. It was, who is this guy? I don't even know where his name went now. He's down the charts. McKirk. His name is Kirk McKeand, managing editor. But he writes game coverage for USA Today. That's his main claim to fame. I mean, I don't know if he's famous, but that's the main thing you would know him from. And he tweets out look at this asshole, look at this loser, look at this edgelord. And then he calls me a dinosaur, nice ageism prick. And he's like, oh, I can't wait for these dinosaurs to die out. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how this generation of people that are in journalism that you would think would defend discourse and getting context and making sure that what they're publicly tweeting out as a reporter, as an editor, which many of these folks were, is accurate. Or at least they understand where the person's coming from. But instead, and I don't like the term virtue signaling, but it's kind of it's good, but it's really you want to kind of compare your progressive bona fides against mine, Kirk? We can do that. I guarantee you I'll come out on top, okay? I've been around a lot longer, and I've been as a progressive fucking, pain in conservatives' asses since I was a kid in Alabama. A Jewish kid raised in Alabama. I assure you, Kirk, we can go toe-to-toe and I'll emerge the winner if we're going to compare those things, okay? So, I don't know. It's just disappointing. I like journalists. I like the I would never want to be one. I don't have the skill set, and I don't have the patience, and I don't have the discipline for it. But journalists are incredibly important, and it bugs the fuck out of me when these, not just even up and coming, but I mean a lot of them are younger, that they seem to not really take that job seriously. They don't seem to really understand the value of discourse and debate and discussion that isn't comfortable. I don't know what to tell you. It drives me batshit. I'm not going to respond to any more of these on Twitter. I just got to let it go. It's hard, man, because it's like anybody who watches my shit knows that I'm not out there trying to... This guy's like, he's trying to be an edgelord. Really? Dude, I'm 50 fucking years old. Do you think I have... Where in my life as a 50-year-old man does the quote street cred of being an edgelord help me? What? Why would I even consider such nonsense? So anyway, I just wanted to get off my chest. I'm going to bed. I won't say anything more about this until I say more about this, but I hope you're well. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I do appreciate that. And I'll see you later. Take it easy. Be well. Good night. Good morning. Whatever you need. See ya.